and gentlemen, welcome to your WWE Royal Rumble 2020 preview and predictions. It's kind of a smaller card this time around than I was expecting. We've got one less match this year than we had last year for the Rumble card, but still a pretty decent show, especially on the women's side to me. The women's matches have got much more intrigue about them than the men's matches, in my opinion, but that doesn't mean that the men's matches aren't interesting at all. So I'm very curious to see what John has to say. We have not shared our own picks with each other at all. And because we are doing the Royal Rumble game this year, I also got picks from my mom to make sure that we can all three kind of have, a horse in this race, so to speak. That being said, we've got Sheamus versus Shorty G, Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin or King Corbin, Falls Count Anywhere. The U.S. title is on the line, Andrade defending against Humberto Carrillo. SmackDown Women's title, Bayley defending against Lacey Evans. Raw Women's title, Becky defending against Asuka. And, of course, the Universal title in a strap match, The Fiend defending against Bryan. And then, of course, we've got our two actual Royal Rumble matches, but we're going to pick the non-Royal Rumble matches first, and then we'll get into our Royal Rumble pick'ems because it is a lot more complex and complicated than just picking a winner. So, John, how excited are you for this show?
I'm definitely excited. I don't want to seem like I'm like a wet blanket about this show. I will admit Brock starting at number 1 did temper my excitement for the Rumble a little bit in a variety of ways, which we'll get into. But I think on the whole, when you balance everything out, I'd say my hype is at a modest 8 out of 10. You know, it's the beginning of the road to WrestleMania. It's a big 4. There's a certain energy that accompanies it. And I'm just really excited what they pull, and maybe they'll surprise us. You know, we've been saying lately, Ashton, on live reactions that the pay-per-views are doing better than the television product, even though I'd say lately SmackDown's been pretty consistently strong.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Like, knowing precedent, lately, the last few pay-per-views, knowing it's a big 4, knowing it's the start of WrestleMania, I'm gonna go in with good faith. So I'm going to say 8 out of 10. How about you, man? Where are you at?
Yeah, I guess the WrestleMania season isn't officially underway until the sign is hung up for someone to point at, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I actually was going to say a 7, but the more I look at the card, the more I'm like, you know what? This actually looks like a pretty strong card. I'm going to say 7.5. So I'm going to 7.5 out of 10, just a notch below your excitement. I'm still pretty excited for the show, mostly because of just the usual Royal Rumble excitement that kind of comes along with this show every year. So definitely more excited for this than I've been for the last few pay-per-views, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see how they handle it, right?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. And Foster also said 7.5, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess he and I are on the same page as far as our excitement levels. Now, do we want to get into our actual main card match predictions?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Yeah, there aren't any pre-show matches announced for this show yet, but even if there are pre-show matches, we're still just going to pick every match on the card now, knowing that none have been announced as pre-show yet. So let's just start. We'll just go in the exact same order that I already listed them in. We'll start out with the one match that doesn't have a stipulation or stakes, Sheamus versus Shorty G.
I'm going to say Sheamus for the win here. It should be a very straightforward matchup. Sheamus is back. They're going to want to establish him. So Sheamus for the win.
I appreciate that we're starting this off with a unanimous pick. All three of us are going with Sheamus to win this. So that makes things really easy. No real discussion needed. I agree with your take that it's Sheamus' first big match back. It's on a pay-per-view. It's against Shorty G, and they've really used Shorty G as like, he really gives them their real fight and takes them to the limit, but he just never fucking wins. So Sheamus makes a lot of sense. Second match is the only other match on this show with no stakes, even though it does have a stipulation, and it should be a very entertaining match, and I'm sure it'll get top billing. King Corbin versus Roman Reigns. Falls Count Anywhere. We just saw tonight Roman and the Usos defeating Corbin and Rudolph. So it seems like Roman and company are definitely coming out of the winning side here. But I'm wondering if that'll make you feel like maybe it'll be Corbin's time to get another win at the next pay-per-view like he did at TLC.
I have been thinking about the Reigns-Corbin rivalry, and there is a route I feel like they could go that would make Corbin winning this match viable. But I don't want to talk about that yet. I would prefer to talk about that when we talk about the men's rumble itself. Just
Okay.
kind of like
Okay.
openly speculate, if that's okay with you.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely.
So I think I'm just going to keep it very straightforward. I'm going to say Roman Reigns wins this match.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to agree that Roman is going to win this. And I guess we can move on already because this is another unanimous pick. All three of us, you, my mom, and myself, all picked Roman to win. Now we get to the U.S. title. Andrade defending against Humberto Carrillo, who I believe is 2-0 in singles matches against Andrade, isn't he?
Yes. Well, yeah, he is. I don't think Andrade's still gotten his win back against Humberto. I don't think.
But this is where he does it because I'm picking Andrade to win.
I am as well. I saw an interview with Ray recently that said if Andrade wants to keep this going, he wouldn't mind putting his mask on the line at WrestleMania in a mask versus hair match to create a Mania moment. Ooh. I hope that's more than a tease because I would honestly really be into that because honestly, no disrespect to Ray, but if they're thinking about wrapping his WWE career up, no better place to retire than a Mania and putting Andrade over like $1 million fucking bucks. But for that to happen, he has to retain. So I'm going with Andrade here. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm going with Andrade too, and so did my mom. So far, all unanimous picks. I'm wondering if that will maybe stray a little bit here. The SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley defending against Lacey. Who you got, my friend?
I got Bayley retaining.
Okay.
I could critique Lacey, but honestly, we're going at a good pace, and I don't want to slow it down. I will just say, though, that it's kind of weird that Lacey's in this spot when really the primary focus has been her and Sasha right now. So to me, it would be weird for her to win the championship unless she was going to be a transitional champion, and I just don't see that with Lacey. I think when she wins her first title, she's actually going to have a decent reign with it. So because I just don't see any of that happening, keep it simple, right? The KISS model. I'm going with Bayley.
I hadn't even thought about it, but you are right that this feud is really more about Lacey versus Sasha than Lacey versus Bayley. And that almost does make me wonder if there's a chance that Lacey beats Bayley here and then drops the title to Sasha at Elimination Chamber. I don't know. There's something to that, but that's that's a little fantasy booking-y, and I try and avoid that when I'm just making my what's supposed to be objective picks. So I am going to go with Bayley to retain as well, and my mom did too. So yet another consensus pick. And up next, Becky Lynch versus Asuka. A lot of people are saying that Asuka needs to win this or something along those lines, but Asuka got her win last year, and I don't think she's going to get another one this year. So I'm picking Becky to win this and retain.
I can certainly sympathize with CM Punk, who said on Backstage that Asuka's kind of the Joker to Becky's Batman, and he doesn't want to see that end.
Yeah.
As somebody that's really a fan of both Kabuki Warriors, obviously with more emphasis on Kairi, but I respect the fuck out of Asuka. I would not mind her winning at all, but the story really has been Becky collecting this debt and really earning her place in her mind psychologically as the man. So for that to happen, she's got to win. I'm going with Becky to retain.
Yeah. All right, man, another consensus pick. Let's see if we can go, 6 for 6 here. Universal Championship, Fiend Bryan strap match. Who you got?
I got the Fiend retaining, man.
Yep.
I see him walking in the minute. Yeah.
You know what, though, dude? It's crazy because we all agreed on all of the non-Rumble matches, and I guarantee you there is going to be significant deviations in our actual Royal Rumble match picks.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. With the way the whole game's set up, yeah, I'm sure we've got very different interpretations of how everything's going to go down, which, since we had consensus picks on the matches before the Rumble, can we just dive right into this here?
Yeah, that's crazy, though. So just to go over our consensus picks, because, again, there were no deviations across the board between all 6 of these matches. Sheamus over Shorty G, Roman Reigns over King Corbin, Andrade, Bayley, Becky Lynch, and The Fiend all retain their titles, and that's it. That's it. No title changes. But then we get to the Royal Rumble matches, and we'll start with the men's, because I don't know if you agree with me here, but to me, the men's Rumble is significantly less interesting this year than the women's Royal Rumble. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely, dude. 150% agree.
And really, I don't need more reasons than they gave away who number 1 is, and it's Brock Lesnar, and he's probably going to tear through some people at first.
Yeah, exactly.
So that alone, to me, killed a lot of my interest. And another big thing that killed my interest is that we now know 27 of the 30 entrants in this Rumble. There are only 3 slots left for surprises. And guess who hasn't even been announced yet for the Rumble? Are you ready for this?
Who's that?
Bobby Roode.
Okay.
Cesaro.
Okay.
Big Show.
Okay.
Kane.
All right.
That's 4 already for 3 slots.
Yeah.
And not a single NXT competitor has been announced yet out of 27 already announced.
Yeah, that's really right. I really wish they did the 10-10-10. They're probably never going to do it, and I feel like I say that every year. Like, oh, is this going to be the year where it's like 10 Raw, 10 SmackDown, 10 NXT? They're probably never going to do it, but I don't understand why they didn't do it this year, because we had a big Rocket League discussion. In fact, it's funny, dude. We had such a good conversation. That was something we should have streamed, honestly. I felt like I really enjoyed that, but NXT doesn't have that developmental veneer anymore. And I used to argue for it for the longest time, but now even I have to fold and say, well, you got a TV deal. You're on USA. You've got 2 hours. You're another brand now. So I don't understand when you're finally a brand how you don't get more Rumble picks. That's really, especially with the showing they had at Survivor Series, which again we talked about.
Yeah,
so,
and we did talk about this on Rocket League, but I'm just going to reiterate what I said during that conversation. I really think that NXT being sort of considered to be a quote-unquote main roster brand now, they really should have gone to a 40-man and a 40-woman Rumble. And what they should have really done is they should have had the Survivor Series 5-on-5-on-5 matches be the match that determined what brand gets an extra person in the Royal Rumble. Because if there are 40 people, that's not divisible by 3. So there's going to be a team of 13, a team of 13, and a team of 14. So the winning team at Survivor Series should have gotten that 14th slot for their team. So there should have been, 14 women from NXT versus 13 from Raw and SmackDown, and 14 men from SmackDown versus 13 from Raw and NXT. That's how they should have played this out. Not only because that kills 2 birds with 1 stone. First of all, it kills the bird of the men's Royal Rumble having no interest because there's just nobody in NXT that's been announced yet. Only 3 open slots still. And second of all, it also kills the bird of Survivor Series having no stakes other than just fucking bragging rights with who gives a shit, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, that was kind of my take on the situation. Obviously, can't go back in time, change history, but at the end of the day, I think that that's the best way to kind of handle it. That being said, though, I think it's time for us to get into our Royal Rumble picks. And the way that we handle this, for those of you that are new to the channel, or maybe you're not new, but you need a refresher course, normally we have 11 categories, but in the men's Rumble, we only have 10 because Brock Lesnar took one of them, that being the number 1 entrant. The way that we handle it is we try and predict the first 2 entrants. We say it's number 1 and number 2, but really the order doesn't matter because, like, for example, I use this example with my mom. If you were to predict, say, that Sasha Banks and Charlotte would be the first 2 entrants in the Women's Royal Rumble, in that order, Sasha Banks 1, Charlotte 2, and it would actually end up being Kairi Sane 1, Sasha Banks 2, you would still get your points for predicting Sasha Banks. Even though she didn't come out of the exact number you predicted, she was still one of the first 2, and there's really no difference between the first 2. So the way that this works normally, and it will for the women's, is you're not necessarily trying to predict the exact who comes out at number 1, who comes out at number 2. It's more that you're just trying to predict who the first 2 people out will be, right?
Yes.
Okay. That being said, we should, and I was going to say too, that's the first 2 categories. We also try and predict the number 30 entrant. Then we try and predict the longest lasting entrant. Then we try and predict who will last the least amount of time in the Royal Rumble. Then we predict who will get the most eliminations. Then we predict the final 4. And finally, we predict the winner. So it adds up to 11 categories. And in the men's Rumble's case this year, it's only 10 because we know who number 1 is. So it's only going to be 10. And what we then do is, after we've made our predictions, we assign confidence values to each of those picks, where it ranges from 1 to 10, 1 being the least confident, 10 being the most confident, and you can't use the same number twice. You have to have all 10 numbers from 1 to 10 used. You can't give 5 things 1 point of confidence and another 5 things 10 points. You have to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, based on how confident we are in those, because then the number of confidence points that we assign is how many points that we get on our total if that thing ends up being correct. So, for example, last year I predicted that Braun Strowman would have the most eliminations. I put 7 points on it, and it was correct, so I got 7 points added to my total. And then whoever ends up with the most points in their total for each Rumble wins that game. So we're starting with the men's Rumble. We only have 10 points, but John, who do you think will be Brock's first challenger?
Okay, can I just say something very quick before I unveil this?
Yeah.
I I feel like these are the best picks that I could make because I did rack my brain. But where I really do think I was smart is I think I was very smart in my point allocation. So if I am wrong about these, it's not going to bite me in the ass that bad. I assigned 1 point to this because I'm not very confident, but I think number 2 is going to be Cain Velasquez.
Oh, dude, that's unanimous. We all three said Cain would be the number 2 entrant.
No fucking way.
No, yeah, dude. You gave it 1 point. I gave it 2 points. She gave it 4 points.
Wow. Yeah, I will say right now, I was very conservative with my number 2 entrant and my number 30 entrant.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I was relatively conservative as well. And here's the thing, too, is I just want to be upfront with everyone. I was extremely cynical about all of my Rumble picks this year. I tried to pick what I think WWE wants to do if they have the opportunity to do it, rather than just picking what I think should happen.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, do we move right along since that was unanimous?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, you said you put 1 point on Cain Velasquez being the number 2 entrant. I put 2 points on it. My mom put 4. And I guess we can move on. Number 30 entrant. I guess I'll go first for this one. I have Sheamus being the number 30 entrant because let's be real, guys. As much as we want the number 30 entrant to be like a big deal surprise return, it hasn't been since 2008. And I have no intention of betting against history because really it's been over a decade now since we've had a really good fun surprise entrant in number 30. I'm not going to bet on it happening this year, so I'm just going to go with Sheamus because he hasn't been announced yet, so he would technically be a little bit of a surprise, but it would be a fucking lame duck surprise, which is what WWE is best at. And the only other guy that I've really considered as a number 30 pick is actually Dolph Ziggler because it seems to be on an every other year plan because he was the number 30 entrant in 2018 and 2016, no, 2015. 2018 and 2015. So really it's an every 3 years plan. So maybe he'll be next year's number 30 pick. So yeah, I picked Sheamus. I gave that 3 points. So, and just to cover this, my mom said John Cena would be the number 30 entrant with 1 point of confidence. So you're up.
Okay, cool. Then I can tell my story before I unveil without blowing up anybody's spot because I actually made a change while you were doing your intro for this. Because originally my number 30 spot, and I'll say regardless, I only have 2 points of confidence to this. Originally my number 30 was Edge. Because I really do believe that Edge is going to return to the Rumble, and even though I'm confident in that, I'm still going to fucking pop when I hear that music. But it's so funny, Ashton, that you went on that little thing about being so cynical, because I went with the most cynical route I could think of for number 30 because I share in your mindset, but I think I was even worse than you.
Big Show?
No, my number 30 entered with 2 points of confidence, Tyson Fury.
Oh, wow. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, Tyson Fury at number 30 with only 2 points. So if it bites me in the ass, I'm not going to lose that big.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's kind of like with my really, really cynical picks that are like so cynical that it's like such a worst case scenario that it's not even necessarily realistic anymore. Those are the ones that I gave the really low point totals to. Right. So yeah, man. Oh wow, Tyson Fury. Okay. I like it though, man. I like it. Let's get into our next category, which is who will last the longest in the Royal Rumble. We're going to kind of sandwich this one a little bit. I'm going to give my mom's answer, then you, then me. Sound good?
Okay, sounds great.
She said Drew McIntyre, and she gave that 5 points of confidence.
Okay, this is where I put my balls on the table because I gave all 10 points to this for Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar's gonna go the distance and dominate.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Brock Lesnar for 10.
Oh my god, dude! First of all, I love it, but second of all, you think Brock's gonna last the longest when Cain Velasquez is gonna come out first and meet him?
Yeah, because I think Brock's gonna best him, and I think it's gonna be like a swerve. That's why I put Tyson Fury at 30. Oh
my god! Yeah. So you think Tyson Fury is gonna be the one that eliminates Brock at the very, very end there?
Possible. Well, it's funny you say the very end because we have to get to my final four still. But
well, yeah. I don't mean the very end as in the final four. I just mean at the end as in like after the last entrant, obviously.
Yeah. So, but I think Brock's gonna go because they've just built him up, dude. Like, yeah, I think they're gonna make Brock every bit the beast that Heyman's been claiming that he is, and he's just gonna be piling bodies. So yeah, I gave all 10 points. Now this is where I'm gonna sink if Brock doesn't do it. Because it's because
that's a lot of confidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, just mathematically, just statistically, where's Mark because I feel like just mathematically, putting 10 points on a one in 30 chance is a really bad, a really bad bet to make.
Math was never my strong suit, homie. Let's do it.
All right. Well, I already said my mom picked Drew as her longest lasting. My longest lasting, though, I really wanted to go for somebody that I feel like they're trying to push as a baby face. And I actually went with a bit of an odd choice because of the fact that it's not somebody that you think like, oh, there's somebody that can last an hour in a Royal Rumble because of appearance. I picked Kevin Owens.
I like that. I like that pick.
Because he's
really
been
cool.
such a great underdog babyface on Raw. And he's not like Samoa Joe. Like Samoa Joe's the killer. So I couldn't pick Joe or anything because I do like Joe as a face, but he's a different kind of face. He's the badass face. Kevin Owens has been a genuinely cool underdog babyface on Raw, despite his size. And I think that babyface Kevin Owens is going to kind of go down as somebody that kind of goes against and pushes against tropes. And one of the tropes is, oh, the big men in wrestling, they can't last very long in matches. And I know Kevin Owens has the durability and the stamina and the endurance to be able to pull it off. So I really want to see him have a really strong showing and last a long time in the Rumble. So even if he's not the longest lasting, I genuinely think he will last at least a half hour in the Rumble this year, if not more.
That's fair, man. I see no problem with how you broke that down, for sure.
All right, next up, shortest lasting, and you get to go first for this.
Again, low confidence total. Was conservative with this. 3 points, Mojo Rawley.
Okay.
I think with him being the 24/7 champion, there might be a little bit with the title that sees him getting eliminated early.
Dude, you're going to fucking love this, or you're going to hate it. I think you're probably going to one or the other. I don't know. With 1 point, though, so not very confident, but I wanted to do this because how great of a swerve would it be if they opened the Royal Rumble with Brock Lesnar getting eliminated immediately by Cain Velasquez?
Yeah, dude. I think, you know what? I totally understand that, and I think you were smart because you said you only put 1 point of confidence to this.
Yeah, I put 1 point on Brock being the shortest lasting, and I put 2 points on Cain Velasquez being the number 2 entrant. So combined, if that doesn't happen, I only lose out on 3 points.
Yeah, I think it's very smart that you were that conservative with it. And given that, I think your logic is sound because they've made a big deal about how Cain Velasquez can have Brock's number. I think I only cooled off on that because of how quickly Brock made work at Cain Velasquez at whatever the fucking Crown Jewel 500 or whatever. But I know Cain Velasquez, I think, was also injured at the time. So
well, yeah, he was injured, and that was also a wrestling match. Whereas this, you can have him eliminate Brock and kind of rekindle their feud and maybe do a second singles match at Mania, which I feel like is probably what Vince wants to do anyway. And it doesn't make Brock look bad because it's a Royal Rumble. Like, he's not getting beat. He's just getting thrown over the top rope, and who cares?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So,
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going here, is that I think that they're going to have Cain eliminate Brock, even if it's cheap, even if it's just like I don't know, like he like never enters the ring, but Brock hits the ropes one time and he reaches over and grabs him and pulls him out. You know, like, I don't know. I just feel like they're going to find a way. And it might not even be Kane. It might be Tyson Fury. Whoever Brock's WrestleMania opponent is, I think that person needs to be the number 2 entrant, and they need to eliminate Brock right away because it would just fucking send Brock into an outrage. And that's how you build a Brock match, is by having Brock be the one that's angry and goes after someone. And then they're like, oh, yeah, but you got to put the title on the line. You know, like, I think that's the way to do the WrestleMania match this year.
Yeah, I totally get that, man. I really like your logic with that.
Then my mom picked Baron Corbin, King Corbin, as her shortest lasting. She put 3 points on that. So
nice.
All right, next up, most eliminations. I stuck with the horse that won me 7 points last year, Braun Strowman, for 4.
Very nice. Do I go next here?
Yeah, my mom picked Brock Lesnar for 2. So go ahead.
I also picked Brock Lesnar, but I put 6 points on this.
Okay. All right, man. Wow. Okay. And now we get to our final fours. My mom's final 4 was Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, and Finn Balor. And she assigned 10, 9, 8, and 6 confidence points to those people, respectively, of being in the final 4. So Drew, Roman, Joe, and Balor. So now, I guess you get to go here, John. Who was your final 4 and what were your point values? Do we want to go like back and forth, like one each, or do you just want to name all 4 like I just did with my mom?
I'll name all 4,
Okay.
but I'll go at enough of a pace where you can record it. Brock Lesnar for 7 points. Roman Reigns for 9 points. Drew McIntyre for 8 points. And a guy that I'm putting a few chips on, 4 points, Keith Lee in the final 4.
Nice. And how many points are you putting on Keith Lee?
4.
Oh, 4 points for the final 4. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So one of those 4 guys is going to win your Royal Rumble.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right.
That's what I'm thinking.
My final 4 is weird. Like, it's different. It's weird. But it would be so very WWE to do this at the same time. And that's why these are literally my top 4 confidence value points, because they're also all like the best bets. You know, rather than 1 in 30 or 1 in 15, these are all 1 in 7.5 bets, which is why they're my top 4 confidence points. So my top 4, my final 4 in order from my 10, 9, 8, 7 point values: Roman Reigns at 10, Sheamus at 9, Drew McIntyre at 8, and Seth Rollins at 7.
Wow. Not bad, dude.
So, and again, though, think about the framing here: Sheamus and McIntyre, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. You've got the 2, Celtic boys, Sheamus and Drew, and you've got the 2 Shield boys, Roman and Seth. But it's changed, because now it's going to be Roman and Drew versus Sheamus and Seth because of the alignments.
Right. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then that only leaves who we think is going to win the Royal Rumble.
And you get to go first with this one, my friend.
I gave 5 points of confidence to this. I want it so badly to be Drew. I just want to get that out of the way, but I went with Roman Reigns to win the Rumble.
Well, that makes 2 of us, because I went with Roman Reigns to win the Royal Rumble as well with 6 points. And my mom picked Drew. She went all the way. She picked Drew for 7.
Kudos to you, bestie. I hope you're right about that. I wouldn't even care about losing those points, because I think Drew deserves the fucking push.
Yeah, it would be really cool if Drew was either number 2 and went on to challenge Brock, or just won the thing. Like, one of those 2 things should probably be Drew McIntyre. I will say, though, something that nobody's expecting that would be like the number 1 thing that would fucking send both of us and would literally completely redeem this entire Royal Rumble is if Matt Riddle did either of those things.
Oh my god.
Yes. Oh my god.
If Riddle was number 2 and challenged Brock at WrestleMania, or if he won the Royal Rumble, that would be the end. I would just be done. Fine, WWE, you win. I might even consider getting another network subscription. Like, that would be how the WWE could save my fandom.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that so confidently because I know they won't do it.
Yeah, there you go. There you fucking go.
All right. This is good. This is fun. All right. So, and by the way, I just want to say, I didn't pick Keith Lee at all because, like I said, there are only 3 slots left. And I think that at least one of them is going to go to an MMA douche like Cain Velasquez, possibly going to Tyson Fury. So, is Mojo Rawley officially announced for the Royal Rumble?
I don't think so, but dude.
Wait, really? Oh shit.
Or is he not?
You might have a bit of a logical issue then with your picks.
Possibly.
Mojo. Yeah, no, he's not. Which means, so just saying this, you might want to make a change here because you have Cain Velasquez in this Royal Rumble. You have Tyson Fury in this Royal Rumble. And you also have both Mojo Rawley and Keith Lee. That's 4 dudes. There are only 3 slots left.
Yeah.
And those 4 dudes are not announced for it yet. So do you want to make a change somewhere?
To
somebody that's actually in the Royal Rumble?
Yeah. Is there like a list I can look through? Because I really don't want to.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I'll actually, you know what? I'll make this as easy as possible. I will literally just send you the list on a Facebook message. I can do that. Make it
all right.
Quick, real easy. There we go. And there we go. And there you go. There's the list of every male that has already been announced for the Royal Rumble.
Okay, yeah.
Wait. The Miz is also... Is The Miz...
He's on it.
Is he on it?
Well, they both came tonight.
Yeah. Well, The Miz is also in it. I don't know why The Miz wasn't on the list that I sent you. I messed up.
You know what? I'll say Eric Rowan, actually. I'll say Eric Rowan for shortest lasting. And then for Final Four, I am going to stick with Keith Lee.
Yeah, I was going to say, you only needed to change one of them because, you can just say that the 3 guys are going to be the 3 that you're predicting.
Right.
So you're changing your shortest lasting from Mojo Rawley to Eric Rowan.
Yes.
Okay, and are you sticking with the 3 confidence points, or do you want to move things around?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the 3 confidence points. That's fine.
Okay. All right, that works.
All right, then can we get on to the Women's Rumble?
Yeah, let's get on to the Women's Rumble. Let's talk about the first 2 entrants. You went first for the last one, so I guess I'll go first here. Do we want to just name both of our first 2 entrants or one at a time?
We can name both of our first 2 entrants.
Okay, well, I think you're probably going to love this because my first 2 entrants are Kairi Sane and Io Shirai.
Oh, fuck yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I've got 8 confidence points on Kairi and 4 on Io.
Damn. Oh man. God, so much to say as a Kairi fan, but I'll hold off for now. You're not gonna like my first 2. It's not nearly as entertaining as yours. I've got 1 confidence point on Sasha Banks being number 1, and number 2 with 2 confidence points. How apropos, Charlotte Flair.
I knew it. I knew, dude. Wait. Did we really just do that? Did I not earlier use the example of if you picked Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair to be 1 and 2, and then it ends up being Kairi and Sasha 1 and 2? That didn't, wasn't that my literal example with Sasha and Charlotte being 1 and 2?
It might have been. It might have been.
God. Just to kind of clarify here, my mom's picks were Natalya and Ruby Riott, 8 points and 5 points.
Damn. All right.
I don't know if you've heard, but Ruby and Nia are both being rumored to show up at the Rumble. So,
okay, yeah. I mean, I've heard that. God, I don't want Nia in the Rumble, but it's probably going to happen because God forbid I'm happy.
I mean, the thing is, dude, we've also got to kind of keep in mind there are literally only 9 women actually announced for this, and only 3 from Raw. Charlotte, Sarah Logan, and Natalya are the only Raw women officially announced for this. And then over on SmackDown, you've got Bliss, Cross, Carmella, Dana, Sonya, and Mandy, and that's it.
Yeah.
9 women total. Whereas on the men's side, it's 27. Like,
Jesus.
I feel like we should be going into the Rumble knowing somewhere between 15 and 20 names in each Rumble so that there are at least 10 surprises in both of them as well. But no, they're just like, no, let's run it out to the extremes. Let's tell them everyone in the men's Rumble and no one in the women's.
Yeah. Way to be lopsided as fuck.
Yeah.
All right.
So you've got Sasha and Charlotte. I've got Kairi and Io, and that's my thing too. Is like I totally see where you're coming from with Sasha and Charlotte because they always like to tell some kind of story with the first 2, whether it's like a personal thing like that, or even if it's just like for me more of like let's just let these women go out there and put on a 90-second match of amazingness that'll get the crowd really into it. They always try and do stuff like that. So that's one thing that we probably can bank on. So very, very, really, honestly, I'm hopeful that any of us are right, like 100% right about that. Or hell, I mentioned Kairi Io or Kairi Sasha rather, or hell, Io Sasha. Jesus fucking Christ, please send me to heaven. Any of those would just make me so happy. And even Sasha Charlotte. I don't like Charlotte, but her being in it that early, she's not the fucking marathon woman type. She would not win it from there, and that would make me happy. That being said, though, number 30 entrant, my mom said Nia Jax for 4 points. How about you, brother?
I actually made just another last-minute switch after thinking about it. Actually, no, can you just share who yours is? Because I don't want to accidentally blow up your spot.
I said Charlotte Flair for 5 points.
Because I originally had Shayna, but then I'm like, no, I'm not really feeling that. So I actually changed it, and only 3 points of confidence, so I feel like it's not much of a risk. Naomi. I think Naomi will return at number 30, and God, I've missed her. I would legitimately pop for that, actually. It's been too long. Let's get Naomi back in the running here.
I like it, man. I like it. So the longest lasting, and by the way, I know I kind of said it quickly, so I'll just kind of reiterate. My number 30 entrant, I said Charlotte Flair for 5 points. So I like your scenario a lot more because her coming out in the first 2 means she's a lot less likely to win than if she comes out when I expect her to, which is number 30.
Right, though.
Yeah. So then we've got longest lasting, and I guess I'll go first for this one. I actually said Io would last the longest because I think that even if they're not necessarily ready to bring her to Raw or SmackDown and really give her that push, I do think that they want NXT to look like kind of the work rate show, and what better way to do that than to have Io last 40 plus minutes, or at least 30 in the Women's Rumble. I put 3 points on that.
Damn, dude, I love how much you love Io and you're getting behind, and she certainly deserves it. I think Io deserves that kind of showing that make people look at her differently. I gave 6 points to this. I think Sasha Banks is going to go the distance again. So Sasha Banks for longest lasting.
And my mom gave 2 points to Shayna Baszler.
Ooh, I like it. I'm really digging the women's Rumble energy right now. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be the one that makes it tank. But, yeah, we'll see about that.
All right, let's get to the shortest lasting. My mom gave 3 points to Nia Jax, being in and out at number 30, basically.
God, bestie, God, you're just so wonderful. I wish you were right about these things. I really do. We'll have to wait and see.
How great would it be if her music hit, she came out to the ring, she got in the ring. There was one of those spots where everyone tried to pile on and then she threw them all. And then just one person, maybe Lacey if she's in it, or just somebody, clocks her really hard, makes her flip around and go like limp and dizzy. And then everyone teams up and eliminates her at the same time. And then we never see her again.
That would, dude, the dream. The fucking dream.
So who are you taking for the longest or the shortest lasting in the Rumble?
Only 4 points of confidence to this. I had Sarah Logan just because of how she's been getting bitched out lately.
Yeah, I was a little more confident about this because it just seems like such an obvious comeuppance or cathartic moment here. Lana.
Dude, yes, please. From not being in it last year because Becky took her spot to being shortest lasting, yes. They can even tell a story with that. You know, Becky took my spot last year, but this year I'm going to win the whole thing. And then she just lasts like a second.
Exactly.
Like, yes.
Yep.
Love it.
And hell, Liv Morgan could even be the one to eliminate her.
Yes, dude. Again, loving this energy right now. Let's keep it going.
All right. Who's going to have the most eliminations, John? You tell us.
I gave 7 points of confidence to this, Shayna Baszler.
Nice. Dude, you actually have that pick in common with my mom. She gave it 1 confidence point, but she also said Shayna.
Nice.
I gave the second most confidence points of anything to this because Charlotte Flair is going to have the most eliminations.
Ew. You're probably right, though.
I can't explain how much I wish I'm wrong or I hope I'm wrong, but at the end of the day, it's Charlotte, and she's been doing a lot of complaining lately, so she's going to get some kind of achievement here.
Right.
She really is like the fucking real life version of South Park Bono.
Yeah, dude, I hate her so much.
You know what I'm saying though? Like she's such a piece of shit, but she keeps on achieving things and she thinks that's all that matters. So every time someone questions her, she's just like, achievement. She's just like lists all the shit that she's been given as if that somehow makes her a better person.
Yeah. God, she's the fucking worst. Fucking adult Caillou ass.
And speaking of which, we get to our final 4, and my first person in my final 4 with 11 confidence points is Charlotte Flair.
Oh, dude, I don't think you're gonna like my final 4 because I did kind of pull a me here, but just I guess to take it slow since you only named one name, I guess we'll do this one at a time. 10 points, Sasha Banks.
Oh God, I hope you're right. I feel like you're putting a lot on Sasha having an amazing showing, and I also have her in my final 4 with 9 points. But still, I wish I was as confident that they're gonna push her as much as you think they will.
Mark, if you go back and listen to this, I hope you're proud because he's like one of the biggest Sasha fans I know. But yeah.
Well, so let me ask you this though, and actually, I just want to go over my mom. She had Charlotte Flair with 11 points as well, Shayna Baszler with 10 points, Nikki Cross 9, and Alexa Bliss 7. But I'm curious, who is your 11-point final 4 person?
11 points, Shayna Baszler.
Oh, wow. How are you going to give so many points to someone that hasn't even been announced for the thing?
I just feel like she's going to run roughshod. I mean, dude, she won the Triple Threat main event at Survivor Series. Like,
I know, but she's not even announced for the match yet.
Yeah, but she's gonna be in it, dude. I mean, come on.
She hasn't been in it the last 2 years when other NXT women have been in it.
Yeah, but hasn't she been like holding the title then? Like, this is the time that she would be in it, and to me, well, you know, we'll get to that, but yeah. I really think this is her time. She's gonna be in it.
I mean, that being said, I did still have Shayna Baszler in my final 4, but I only gave her 6 confidence points. Not like you two giving her fucking 10 and 11. Christ.
Right. I mean, dude, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I just feel like this is her year. So.
All right. Who else do you have? Who's your third person in your final 4 with the next most confidence points?
Charlotte Flair at 5 points. Or no, next most confidence points you said. I'm sorry. That would be Kairi Sane with 8 points.
Oh, wow. Damn. Okay. And then I already heard you say Charlotte Flair with 5 points, so I'll just add that in as well. And I went over my mom's Final Four. She's got Charlotte at 11, Shayna at 10, Nikki Cross at 9, and Alexa Bliss at 7. So
Okay.
cool. Mine, I've got Charlotte at 11, Sasha at 9, Shayna at 6, and Ronda Rousey with 2 points.
Why? Did I mention my other final person with 5 points?
Charlotte.
Would be
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's because, I mean, look at who my Final Four are, John. It's Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks on one side, and it's Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey on the other.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, that thought did cross my mind, believe it or not. I'm like, they could, but I'm like, please God, no. So I don't know if I was just protecting myself by not pulling the trigger or what, but yeah, I couldn't commit. But it did cross my mind. I totally understand why you're going there. Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. So my mom's picking Shayna Baszler to win the whole thing. Who you got?
I believe I also had Shayna. Let me just confirm. Yeah, Shayna Baszler with 9 points.
Wow, dude! Jesus, you've got 27 points riding on Shayna being in this thing at all.
Yeah, we're in this together, bestie, you and me.
I mean, she's only got 19 points on her. You've got 27.
I'm channeling my mentor, Big Baller Bivens. I'm going for broke, baby.
Yeah, I was gonna say if Shayna just wins, you would get 20 points. She would get 16. If Shayna lost eliminations, you would get 27 points. She would get 17. She also has Shayna being the longest lasting, so that would put her up to 19. But still, goddamn.
Yeah, dude.
Believe it or not, the person that I have the most points riding on is Charlotte. And I have 26 points riding on her, but she's already announced and she's over pushed as fuck. So I'm pretty confident that I'm going to get at least some points.
Yeah, dude, understandably so. I completely agree with that. Absolutely. Yeah, man. I'm excited for these Rumbles now, though. I really like all of our picks, and I like that I kind of got a bit more playful, a bit more ambitious in the Women's Rumble. So
yeah, definitely. So, I don't think I even said who I'm picking to win the Women's Rumble, did I?
No, I don't think you did.
Ronda, 1 point.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I went with 2 points of her being in the Final Four and 1 point of her winning because she's not announced for it and everyone's been denying it up and down, but I want to be fucking insulated when it happens.
Yeah, I totally get that, man. Totally get that.
Because you know WWE still wants to do that Ronda versus Becky one-on-one match at Mania. You know they want it.
Yes, absolutely.
And by the way, can I also just throw this out there? If Shayna isn't the one, and Ronda isn't coming back, it's going to be fucking Charlotte. And they're going to do Charlotte Becky one-on-one at Mania again.
Yeah. Oh, God, I hope you're wrong about everything that just emitted from your face, but...
So do I, but it's not happening.
Well, we'll see. It's all going to come to a head this Sunday, right? So we're all going to
Yes,
find
it
out
is.
then.
Yes, it is. My God, what an adventure this has been.
Absolutely. I really enjoyed this. Do you have anything else you want to say about the Rumble before we kind of wrap this up here?
Really, I feel like I was extremely cynical with pretty much all of my picks, between, Cain Velasquez being number 2 and eliminating Brock right away to set up a WrestleMania match, Sheamus being number 30, Roman, Sheamus, Drew, and Seth being the Final Four, and then Roman winning. And then for the women, Charlotte doing everything except winning, and then fucking Ronda being the one that shows up to usurp her and win. Very, very, very cynical, very, very negative, very, very low expectations for the show, which hopefully means that they are going to, that's how I look at it. One of two things is going to happen on Sunday. I'm either going to have a much better time than I'm expecting because they're going to completely subvert all of my expectations and I'm going to, get more of what I want than I'm expecting, or they're going to make me look like a fucking genius because I made all these picks ahead of time and I was miserable about it, but at least I knew it was coming.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, I know, Foster. I'm so sorry that I had to insulate my own soul with a little bit of yours.
All right. I just want to thank everybody for coming out. So, yeah, we'll see you guys for the Rumble on Sunday. What time are we meeting up for that, Ashley? Because I know the Rumble's like a big show. So, like,
Yeah, we'll
what's our
probably
meetup
want to
time?
meet up around 6 because of the pre-show.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys at 6 p.m. Eastern time.
No.
Again, remember to follow-
I said you and I are going to meet up around 6.
Okay, so we'll probably go live when? Like, I guess whenever.
I mean, it
pre-show-
depends on if they have interesting pre-show matches. If they do, we'll live react to those. If they don't, we'll just go live at 7 when the show starts.
All right, well then you guys know how that'll work. And if we are like live reacting to a pre-show matchup, I'll be sure to do mass tagging, make you guys aware on Twitter. So yeah, be sure to follow and subscribe. Keep joining us as we continue to grow and we're comfortable here on Twitch. And we'll see you Sunday for the Rumble. So yeah, Ashton, you can take us home.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we do hope that you all enjoyed our Royal Rumble preview and predictions. Be sure to let us know what you think. If you're over on YouTube, you can leave a comment down below telling us what you're predicting to happen for the Royal Rumble. If you would like to play along, you can do your picks with your little confidence interval, point selections like we did. It's a lot of fun to kind of compare your overall score to what we pull off. You can also like us on YouTube, but then more importantly, go over to Twitch, follow us on Twitch, click on the little bell icon on Twitch, and if you can afford to, and if you're interested in supporting us financially, please subscribe to us on Twitch as well, and that will also grant you some Twitch perks. You can also subscribe with Twitch Prime, which is actually even more beneficial for us. We get a little bit more of a cut of that than if you would just subscribe otherwise. And then if you want to subscribe but you don't have the money, you can just subscribe to us on YouTube, and that's fine too. You can click the bell icon there as well. You can also follow us both on Twitter and then, as I mentioned earlier, over on Twitch. You want to go over there, make sure you go over to Twitch, make sure you click the follow and the bell button, all that fun stuff to make sure you never miss a show. And you can also like our Facebook page, buy our merch on Teespring, donate to our Patreon, and share this channel and this video with all of your wrestling fan friends and let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube and Twitch wrestling communities. That's right. That's right. We are TWitWoW, and we are the workhorses of both the Y and TWCs. So we hope that you are able to join us on Sunday for our live reactions to the Royal Rumble, and then Monday for our live reactions to the post-Rumble Raw, and then Wednesday for NXT, and then Friday for our post-Rumble SmackDown live reactions. We'll also be live reacting to the January 26th Stardom show. It is kind of a part 2 to their 9th anniversary special. It will be Kagetsu's last appearance in Stardom, unfortunately, but hopefully it will be a great show. It's going to be main evented by Kagetsu and Mayu teaming up for the first and only time ever to take on the team of Momo and Jungle, formerly known as JK Green. So that should be a very fun match. The show itself should be fun. We hope that you're looking forward to all this TWitWoW content coming at your faces over the course of the next week. I know that we certainly are. And most importantly, we hope that you all remember to stay tuned.